It's a busy night for high school sports, especially for those teams pointed toward the state basketball tournaments. Let's take a look at tonight's lineup. In Section 1 AA, Dover Iota travels to Caledonia. That game already underway. Then at 7 o'clock, Rochester Mayo travels over to John Marshall in Section 1 4A. Also at 7, the Austin Packers host Faribault in Section 1 3A action. Also in 1 AAA, Casson Manorville is scheduled for a 7 o'clock tip-off against Winona. And last but not least, the Stewartville Tigers will be in town against the Lord Eagles at 7:30. We'll have the scores from all of this action tonight at 10. Meantime, in Des Moines, the West Hancock Eagles are in state quarterfinal action against the North Mahaska Warhawks. At last check of that score, West Hancock was leading 58-45 in the fourth quarter. KIMT News 3 Sports' Caleb Gillock is following the action now, and he will certainly have highlights for you tonight during KIMT News 3 at 10. Well, the Iowa Hawkeyes basketball coach, Fran McCaffrey, is suspended for 2 games for yelling at an official in a hallway headed to the locker room following Tuesday's loss at Ohio State. Hawkeyes athletic director Gary Barta announced the move, which will sideline McCaffrey for upcoming games against Rutgers and Wisconsin. The Big Ten says it supports McCaffrey's suspension. In fact, they tacked on a $10,000 fine for the university, along with a public reprimand. Barta called McCaffrey's comments unacceptable, adding they didn't represent the values of the school. Now, meantime, Iowa play-by-play announcer Gary Dolphin, who was suspended last week for an unfortunate reference he made to Bruno Fernando during a game, will be reinstated after the end of the season. In college basketball, the North Iowa Area Community College back at home tonight. The Lady Trojans have won 9 in a row, haven't lost a game, in fact, all season long. All looks promising to extend that win streak as Ellsworth has lost every game this season. That game tips off at 5:30. The Trojans won the January 26th meeting by a score of 119-54. Then at 7:30, the men take the floor. Nyack is riding a 10-game winning streak with a 22-3 overall record, while Ellsworth is 9-18 on the year, having won its last 3 contests. Nyack defeated the Panthers by 12 a month ago. In the NCAA, the Northern Iowa Panthers will host Loyola Ramblers. The Panthers currently sit 4th in the Missouri Valley Conference with a 9-7 conference record, having won their last 4 games. The Ramblers currently sit 3rd in the MVC, looking to bounce back from Wednesday's 70-58 loss at home to Evansville. And in the NBA, the Minnesota Timberwolves are on the road once again, this time in Atlanta. By the way, Atlanta stinks. The last time these two ball clubs met, the Hawks pulled off a 123-120 victory in overtime. Tonight is a big game for the T-Wolves if they hope to make the playoffs. They currently sit 4.5 games out of that coveted 8th spot, sitting 11th in the Western Conference. Tip-off is slated for 6:30. Okay, still to come, where special friendships are forming over literature. From sports to literature, I'm a Renaissance man.